One of the most common questions a teacher asks me is, how do I get my students to show their faces in a virtual classroom? It's a great question, so today I'm going to unpack that. I'm going to give you 5 tips that are going to help you, and I'm also going to give you a great activity and a tool that can help encourage students to show their faces in a virtual classroom. When a teacher asks me that question, the first thing I say back to them is, why do you want your students to come on camera? Because it's important to understand the reason why you want the students on there in the first place. Is it an attendance thing where you need to confirm that students are actually in the classroom? Is it because you're new to virtual classroom and you think, well, why wouldn't the students be on camera? Is it because you want to create a culture of connection where people can actually see each other and connect in that way? Or is it because when you see student faces, it gives you more confidence because you're getting that read on the room? I know that's true for me, or it could be a combination of any of those 4 things. For me, I've discovered that it's a key engagement strategy that students be seen, be heard, and get got. I deliver with much more confidence when I can see student faces on screen from time to time. So if I deliver more confidently, the students are going to get a better learning experience. Before I give you some tips on how to encourage students to come on camera, let me just front load this with some empathy, because there might be some really valid reasons why a student won't come on camera. Some of those reasons might be that the student doesn't actually have a webcam as part of their computer or laptop, so they can't dial in. Other students might have cultural issues, mental health issues, or a disability that prevents them from coming onto their camera. So once you've figured out the reason why you actually want students to come on their camera, and given some thought to the empathetic reasons why some students won't use their camera, let's look at some tips that are going to maximize your chances and encourage students to come on camera, so you're creating this, what I call, face culture. Tip number 1 is you need to establish your face culture right at the start of a course. You can't ask how to do this halfway through a semester, it's too late. Tip number 2, from class number 1, start instructing the students to come on camera and off camera at various times. If you do this around some fun, get to know you icebreaker activities, you're starting to influence them in the way that they use their camera and when you expect them to come on and when you expect them to come off. By asking students to come off their camera at various times, you're going to shock them because you're probably giving them something they want in the first place. But it's all part of that influencing them when you expect them on camera and off camera. It also establishes you as the leader of the learning environment, which is a real key ingredient in virtual classroom. Tip number 3 is give students the reasons why you want them to come on camera or off camera at various times. If they understand the reasoning behind it, they're more likely to engage along with what you're asking. If this strategy starts to work for you, later on when you ask them to come on the camera, it's just no big deal. Tip number 4 is you can explain to students that sometimes being on camera does feel uncomfortable, and that's okay, you understand. But by coming on camera and speaking, their confidence is going to build, and all these digital literacy skills that they're learning are going to be great for their future employability. Tip number 5 is you can talk to the students about that you value them and you actually want to see them. This is about a human connection thing, and it's going to be far more engaging and interactive if you can see each other on the screen. You can even give them an example. Well, imagine if you came to this course as a student and you never got to see me as the teacher. That'd be pretty dry and pretty boring. So likewise, it makes it more engaging for me as the teacher when I can see you. The day goes faster, we're going to have more fun, and it'll make this course more enjoyable for you. Okay, I just want to show you a great activity and a cool website tool that you can use to encourage students to come onto their cameras and on screen. You can show them something like this. You can see here a whole lot of random photos with numbers on them. I got all these pictures off Canva.com. There's some free ones there, or you get access to a wider library if you subscribe to them. But what we would do here is ask students, pick a picture here that describes how you feel about coming to this brand new course, or how are you feeling about the assessment coming up. It doesn't really matter what your question is. This is a great activity because it gives students that courage to be able to talk about a photo and then they link it to their feelings, which is a lot safer way for them to do that. The other thing with an activity like this is I always make sure I go first. That way I can role model how long I expect them to talk for and sort of the level of openness that I'm expecting. We know it can be a bit daunting for students to volunteer to want to come on screen and share something like that. So now I want to show you a cool tool that I found on a website. Okay, let's jump in and have a look at this website. So if you go to your search bar, type in class tools, I know it's popped up there because I've been there before, but let's do it. And here it is here, classtools.net. So I'm going to click this link. And there's a whole lot of games in here, so feel free to jump in and have a look. But the one I want to show you today is the one called a random name picker. So it's basically like the old chocolate wheel with people's names on it. So we're going to go down here and we're going to edit and save a new version. So I can fully customize this wheel. So let's pretend I've got a cert 4 in accounts cohort. Now I can customize all the names in here as well, so I'll get rid of the ones that they had there. So let's add a couple of names in. Alright, that'll do, that's enough. So I've added the student names for my Cert 4 accounts group. I can change the curtain theme here, so let's just pick a different one to demonstrate. Let's go purple. So I can customize the wheel theme here too. So let's click on here and have a look at all the different ones I can pick. Let's just go to this blue one for the demonstration. And I want to save this list because I might use this multiple times with this cohort. So I'm going to hit save. It asks for a password. This is just to get you in. So I'm going to put in my password. I use the same one for different wheels. So if I create a number of these wheels for different cohorts, I just use this same password. So make sure you write that down if you want to use this again. And it creates a unique link here, so you can save that somewhere if you're one of these really organized people, but I'm going to save it onto my desktop. So I'm just going to hit OK down here. And before I get into it, I'm going to save it. So I'm going to go up to my favorite stars. And you'll see that it names it almost exactly how I would anyway, the Cert 4 accounts random name picker. So that's perfect. I'm just going to put in my bookmarks bar, hit done. And then it just sits right here, ready for me to just jump on it anytime and use. Again, this thing pops up trying to get you to sign up to their thing, so just ignore that if you don't want to pay for it. So to get the wheel started, you just click anywhere on it, and away it goes. And it's just going to pick a student name. What you can do is, if you're working your way through the group, you just remove the person's name as you go. So to spin the wheel again, just click the middle, it spins again, and foray. So it's a good way to just build a bit of energy and excitement into getting someone to go first. And if you just want to hit continue to, away you go again, it spins. So if I want to create another wheel for a different cohort, all I need to do is come down and click new, and it will create another new one, and then you just go through the process again, you customize it to suit yourself. So there we go. That's just a simple activity and tool that you can use to keep things a bit fun. But if that seems a bit too labor intensive or a bit too techie for you, that's okay. Another cool thing that you could do is do something like the person with the shortest hair can go first and then go in order of hair length. That way you're just keeping it light, you're keeping it fun. Oliver, what are you doing on an elephant? Ah, the elephant in the room. I forgot. In our pre-meeting, we were talking about the elephant in the room with all this, and that is that at the end of the day, we can't force, coerce, make our students come onto camera and show themselves on the screen. It's their choice, and that's okay. But by doing some of the things we've spoken about today, it's your best way of encouraging students to be part of the face culture. It's going to make it so much more enjoyable for them and for you. Right, that's it from me. I hope you've got something out of this and can implement something in your classroom, and we'll see you next time on Virtually the Teacher.